7 Travel Tips for U.S. Citizens Overcoming Obstacles in Venezuela. The U.S. government flat out says, do not travel to Venezuela. So, why did I go? And if you're even thinking about it, what do you really need to know to navigate the unbelievable challenges you'll face? The State Department warns of everything from kidnapping and terrorism to wrongful detention and torture. It's a level 4 advisory, the highest there is. And they've urged all citizens to get out immediately. They are not kidding about the risks. But behind the headlines, there's a country of staggering beauty and incredibly resilient people. This journey is not a vacation, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart. But for the serious traveler, it is possible. This isn't a guide on if you should go. Only you can make that call. This is a guide for those who've weighed the huge risks and decided to go anyway. These are the 7 essential tips I learned the hard way. My decision to see Angel Falls meant I had to understand a country that's usually just a news soundbite. But wanting to go is one thing. The logistics are a whole other beast. First, know this. The U.S. Embassy in Caracas shut down in March 2019, which means 0 consular services on the ground. If you get into trouble, you're on your own. That fact alone should be a massive red flag. My own journey started with a 6-month odyssey of paperwork, conflicting advice, and some real soul-searching. This video is what I learned, a no-nonsense playbook for a trip where the stakes couldn't be higher. The single biggest hurdle used to be the visa. As of 2026, it's become even more complicated. You can't just show up. Entering Venezuela without a valid visa can get you accused of terrorism and locked up indefinitely. It's a risk that's just not worth taking. And that brings me to the first tip, which has now become even more critical. Tip number 7, start 6 months early and expect new hurdles. The paperwork is staggering. You'll need a detailed daily itinerary, hotel confirmations for the whole trip, 3 months of bank statements, a letter from your job, a federal police record, specific passport photos, and a notarized invitation letter from someone in Venezuela. But here's the new twist for 2026. A U.S. travel ban that went into effect on January 1st, 2026, restricts many visa categories for Venezuelan nationals trying to enter the U.S. While this ban is on them coming to the U.S., it has a chilling effect on the already difficult process for Americans going there. Expect more scrutiny, more delays, and more uncertainty. I started 6 months before my travel date, and I needed every second. Consider that timeline a requirement, not a suggestion. Tip number 6. You need a fixer in Venezuela and a plan for a third country. With no Venezuelan embassy in the U.S., you have to apply through a consulate in another country, like Mexico or the Dominican Republic. This is where a trusted contact, a local guide or fixer, is non-negotiable. They were my source for the crucial notarized invitation letter. They also connected me with a reliable courier or jester who could handle the paperwork in Mexico City. For the final step, I had to fly there myself to pick up the visa. You have to budget for that extra trip. There are no shortcuts. This local contact is your lifeline, your cultural interpreter, and your most important asset for the entire journey. Don't even think about going without one. Touching down at the airport in Maiquetía, which serves Caracas, the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. This airport is notorious for criminal activity. The moment you walk out of arrivals, you are a target. Tip number 5, your airport exit is your first test. Do not, under any circumstances, get in a random taxi or accept a ride from a stranger. That's how you get express kidnapped, taken on a terrifying tour of every ATM in the area. Your only safe bet is your trusted local guide or a pre-vetted private car from your hotel. My guide met me inside the terminal. We had a pre-arranged signal, and he got us to a low-profile car without drawing any attention. The goal is to get from the airport to your secure lodging as fast and quietly as possible, especially after dark. Tip number 4, become the gray man. Your goal in country is to be completely uninteresting. Violent crime is a constant threat, and resisting a robbery can be a fatal mistake. On top of that, the risk of being arbitrarily detained is real for Americans. Roadblocks by security forces or armed civilian groups called colectivos are common, and they may search for any sign of U.S. citizenship. This means you leave the nice watch, the expensive camera, and any designer gear at home. Don't flash your American passport. I carried a color copy of my passport's photo page and my entry stamp for any ID checks, while the real thing stayed locked up. Avoid all political talk. Don't take pictures of government buildings or military sites. Learn some basic Spanish. You don't want to look like a tourist. You want to look like someone who isn't an easy target. Daily life in Venezuela comes with its own set of intense challenges. The country is facing massive shortages of gasoline, electricity, water, and medicine. Tip number 3. Pack your own pharmacy. The healthcare system has collapsed, hospitals lack basic supplies, and you can't assume you'll find even simple painkillers. Before my trip, I saw a travel doctor and got every shot they recommended. Yellow fever, hepatitis A and B, typhoid, and a polio booster. You'll likely need a yellow fever vaccination certificate just to get in. I also packed a full medical kit, antibiotics, pain meds, stomach medicine, and a full supply of my personal prescriptions. Most importantly, I got travel insurance that explicitly covered medical evacuation from Venezuela. This is non-negotiable. If something serious happens, your only real option is to get out, and you can't count on the US government for help. Tip number 2. Plan for a world without Wi-Fi or cash. The infrastructure is hanging by a thread. Power outages are common and can knock out everything from the internet to cell service. Don't count on credit cards or ATMs. Before I left, I downloaded offline maps for every area I planned to visit. I had a local SIM, but I also carried a satellite communication device for real emergencies. Cash is another beast. You have to bring US dollars, crisp, new, small denomination bills. You'll exchange these on the unofficial market, which requires a huge amount of trust in your local contact. Always have a backup plan for your backup plan. Tip number 1. Engage with humility and open eyes. After all the warnings and safety drills, it's easy to forget why you came. You are a guest in a country going through a deep crisis. The headlines and the risks are all real, but they aren't the whole story. The Venezuela I saw was also a place of incredible human spirit. The people I met, facing hardships I can barely imagine, were filled with a warmth and generosity that was humbling. My guide became a friend who showed me the vibrant culture that refuses to die. Traveling here as an American means you have to listen more than you talk and engage with people without judgment. That human connection is the real reward for overcoming all the obstacles. It's the one thing that will stick with you. Traveling to Venezuela as a US citizen in 2026 is a massive undertaking. It demands months of prep, a clear-eyed view of the dangers, and a total focus on safety. These 7 tips are the basic framework for a trip that is as profound as it is challenging. This trip isn't for most people, but if you are prepared for the reality on the ground, Venezuela offers a powerful lesson in resilience, beauty, and the strength of the human spirit. What are your thoughts? Is traveling to a level 4 country ever the right move? Let me know in the comments. And if this guide was helpful, subscribe for more looks into the world's most complicated places. Stay safe and travel aware. Settings. Make the background music fast and quirky. Use appropriate media. Use YouTube audio library only. Use a male, clear American voice for the narrator.